Yeah. So I'll start from scratch. Basically, you're gonna boot up your computer. You are going to plug in the USB cable. You're gonna turn on the key, and then you're gonna double click on this Race Studio 3 software. It's gonna boot up. It's gonna bring you to this home screen. You want to click on the gear icon in the top left, and then this is kind of where everything happens. So if you want to click here, this will connect to the device and kind of show all of the ECU parameters and some of the like the pressure and the temperature stuff like that. Um, Before we do anything, I'm gonna click receive here, which will actually download like what's called the configuration. It's basically the software that's on the AIM device just to have a backup on your particular laptop. I have one, but now you'll have one in a moment. Then we'll download the files. So it's kind of like an iPhone, let's say. There's pictures that you have on it that you want to download. What I'm downloading right now is your full profile type thing. So the reason I did that is because I want to fix, so I'm going to click clone here, and I want to fix the RPM pickup. For some reason, I don't know why that wasn't working, but we'll fix that in a moment. And I will say switch just for traceability here. July. Okay. And before we flash that, I'm going to download whatever files are on this. Let's download all of these. That way we can look at them. You planning to go boating again this weekend? Okay. So now this is showing all of the files that are here, and basically to download them, you can just select this checkbox here. I will do this, and then I will click download, and this well, sometimes the dates on this aren't totally accurate. It's accurate when you open it up in the software. It's a little bit weird, but um, yeah, like sometimes the actual number of the day gets confused with the actual year, which is weird. But anyways, when it saves the file, it's fine. So when you click download, this is kind of the most important step. Here, I would put any notes that you would have, like let's say 28 ET, something like that, the prop, the weight, how many people you had, that type of thing. Okay. Very specific. I like that. And you can add other stuff, but the benefit is like things like the fuel pressure, all the ECU stuff is recorded in there anyway, so you don't have to like add any of that information. Um, yeah, but because I counted a couple weeks ago, I have 513 Bow Racers data files like on my hard drive. You'd be surprised how many people send you stuff that says like none or test one or something like that, and it's a pain in the ass to sort through after the fact. So learning the good habits in the beginning are always easier, anyways. So click OK, and then it's going to go through and download all these files. And the green progress bar is basically just showing you each file. The larger one, sometimes it's every time you start the motor, it just because the way you kind of rig it triggers a logging session every time you start the motor. But this little chain here effectively joined everything in the same day to be one large session. So that way I'm not looking through 100 files of you bumping into port car link type thing or whatever. Um, yeah, so the smaller files generally are just stuff like that, so it's not a big deal to really look at that. The larger ones probably have 20, 30 minutes of runtime. Some of this I think I already have because I downloaded it obviously when you came into the shop. But it's good to have it on your computer that way you can play around with stuff, and it's you're not going to worry about like deleting stuff that potentially might be a problem. Okay. So the only thing I will look at is this. I'd like to keep tabs on and take a screenshot of it. You did an hour and 51 minutes and 152 kilometers. That's only runtime with the motor above 1,000 RPM. It doesn't count like the idle stuff. So hopefully that makes sense. 152 kilometers basically. So we can, yeah. What else? So now I'll look at that data and I'll send you a message later tonight if I notice anything. But I'm gonna fix the RPM pickup because that's kind of the holy grail of stuff you need. Okay, we delivered that STV with the 360 APX to the customer today. Today was the day. Yeah, honestly, it was a little bit humbling because he was telling us he is a McLaren P1 and like a few other really exotic cars. It's Brian Leggett's the gentleman's name. I guess he owns Leggett dealership, which is pretty large. But yeah, he was impressed with everything, and he literally said he went on a hour trip with his P1 yesterday. So coming from that and going to a boat, he was impressed with the electronics. He was impressed with the feel, like the fit and finish, and that's kind of nice to hear, honestly, because that car is not it's not a Camaro type thing or a Corvette. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it was towards the end, it got difficult just because I think we continued to work too long, and we, like you said, underestimated how long it would take to move. Another week would have been nice. So we're kind of paying for the hangover now of us not properly organizing stuff. The race trailer, we kind of just loaded full of stuff, and it's probably going to take 3 months to unpack, but at least it was like safe out of the rain type thing. But yeah, that was it. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's hostile. It was a hostile exit, but it was as pretty hostile as white collar people like my brother and I could be. Like I was willing to pay the landlord like $50,000 to delay a month. That's how desperate we were, and he was just being a dick. Yeah, and he was trying to nickel and dime us for I don't know. He did zero improvements to the product. I really don't want to like complain to you, but he did zero improvements to the property. Um, the 22 years my dad was there, my dad paid out of pocket for everything. And after he got our last rent check, he basically brought in 14 excavators and started, without permission or even telling us, started tearing apart the entire lawn and doing stuff. And we're like, kind of rebuild engines here. We don't want this to happen. If you gave us 2 months notice that you sold the place, you can wait till the end type thing. That's kind of why it was a hostile exit. So that really pissed him off, and he we were cordial about it too. Like it, we would have let him do it as long as he asked for permission, type thing, or did it properly. Said like, oh, if you want to do this, at least let us have the door closed, type thing. Don't just come in and start bulldozing everything. Yeah. And he was just telling us like it left a really sour taste in my mouth. He said I bent over backwards for your dad, type thing. And I obviously he has a different story than what my dad had, and he says, well, you should go ask him next time you see him, type thing. Yeah. So that and he knows the full story behind my dad, and I mean, I'd love to get the place checked for air quality, and it's like there was exposed insulation and stuff like that. I think what my dad had wasn't unrelated to that, but he was blaming so much of it. He's like, your dad must have been a chain smoker, must have done this and that. I'm like, he never smoked a day in his life. Yeah, especially to like aggravate us even more at the end of everything. Like 23 years there, my dad was, and the very last month you have to do that. Yeah. I, f- I feel terrible. Like, say if the widow, my mother, got left with something like that, and my brother and I weren't in the picture, what would have happened? The landlord would have been stuck with that. I would think. I don't know how anything would have got dealt with, but yeah, it's annoying. Yeah, it's annoying for sure. I mean, I think all landlords had a big rude awakening during COVID because I'm sure that their lives got a lot more difficult with extracting the value out of the things that came so easy before to them, just because of delinquent people. Yeah, and and that wasn't us at all. But I mean, projecting that anger because he owns a lot of other properties, and projecting that anger towards us, I don't think was a good thing. Kind of annoyed me, but